Before the marble halls and the somber portraits, there was the splintered wood of a Kentucky log cabin, the air thick with the smell of wood smoke and damp earth. This was the world that welcomed Abraham Lincoln on a cold February morning in 1809. His first lessons were not in a schoolhouse, but in the rustle of leaves, the bite of an axe, and the quiet wisdom of his mother, Nancy Hanks Lincoln. She was a gentle, almost ethereal woman who saw a spark in her lanky, thoughtful son. She taught him his letters and, more importantly, whispered stories of right and wrong, of kindness in a world that was often anything but. The frontier was a harsh teacher. It took his mother when he was just 9, a sickness stealing the warmth from their small cabin and leaving a void that Abe would carry forever. His father, Thomas, was a sturdy, hard-working man, but one who saw the world in terms of acres and harvests, not books and ideas. It was Abe's new stepmother, Sarah, who saw the same spark Nancy had. She brought books into the cabin, the Bible, the Pilgrim's Progress, Aesop's Fables, and encouraged the boys' insatiable hunger for knowledge. By the flickering firelight while others slept, Abe's mind traveled to distant lands and ancient times, his long fingers tracing the words that would become his closest companions. Youth was a series of labors. He grew tall and strong, his muscles coiled from splitting rails and clearing land. He pulled flatboats down the mighty Mississippi to New Orleans, a journey that exposed him to the vibrant, chaotic tapestry of America. It was there, in the bustling markets, that he first saw the brutal reality of slavery in its rawest form: human beings bought and sold like cattle. The sight lodged itself deep in his soul, a profound injustice that his mind, shaped by stories of fairness and a belief in the inherent worth of every individual, could not reconcile. Returning to the small settlement of New Salem, Illinois, Abe's reputation grew. He was more than just a strong back. He was honest, a gifted storyteller whose humor could diffuse a tense situation, and a man who people instinctively trusted. He tried his hand at being a storekeeper, a postmaster, and a surveyor. Each role was a lesson in human nature. He saw the debts people struggled with, listened to their hopes and fears, and began to understand the intricate web of a community. It was during this time that he discovered his next great love, the law. He devoured law books, his mind finding a natural rhythm in the logic and structure of legal arguments. Here was a tool, he realized, to bring order to chaos, to defend the defenseless, and to argue for justice not with an axe, but with words. He would walk miles to borrow a book, studying late into the night. He wasn't just learning a trade. He was forging a weapon for the battles he felt stirring on the horizon. His heart, too, knew both love and sorrow. The story of Anne Rutledge, a bright and gentle young woman he cared for deeply, became a local legend. Her sudden death plunged him into a profound depression, a melancholy that would shadow him for the rest of his life. It was a stark reminder of the fragility of life and happiness, deepening his empathy for the suffering of others. When he finally stepped into the world of politics, first as a state legislator, he was not a polished aristocrat or a fiery ideologue. He was a man shaped by the wilderness, his character forged in loss, his intellect honed by firelight and borrowed books, and his conscience seared by the sight of injustice. He was Abraham Lincoln, the rail splitter, the storyteller, the self-taught lawyer from the prairies, a man of the people who was destined to lead them through their darkest hour.